Hello and welcome to this week's InConversation, in which I talk to people in the dynamic and exciting Northeast cybersecurity scene. My name's Phil Jackman and I lead on CyberNorth, Dynamo Northeast Cybersecurity Cluster, supported by Accenture and the Innovation Super Network. We're part of the UK Cyber Cluster Collaboration, UKC3, and recognised by DCMS and the National Cybersecurity Centre as representing the region. And today, I'm joined by Adam Pickering, Information Security Manager at CGI. Hi Adam, how are you?
Hi Phil, I'm very well. How are you?
Good, thanks. And thanks for taking part in this. So can we start a bit about telling you a bit about yourself and your role at CGI?
Yeah, sure. So, you're obviously aware that I work for CGI and have done for a little while now. Sort of senior consultant within the practice. CGI is broken down into several business units across the country. The one that I'm particularly aligned to is Space Defence and Intelligence. So we support various clients to achieve their business objectives by the mechanism of ensuring that they've got appropriate cyber and information security and addressing any information security needs that they have.
Excellent. So, I mean, CGI for the region, I mean, it's not a new company, but it's fairly new to the region. I think it was only about 19, 20 months ago when you started. So how's business going, especially in the time of COVID?
So the thing with cyber is it really hasn't been affected by COVID. Let's be totally honest. If anything, the footprints increased massively as there was a huge switch towards working from home. The potential for cyber and information security incidents was massively increased. So in terms of the tempo of work, it's been very much constant throughout.
Excellent. And did COVID affect you at all in terms of you personally? I mean, because you must have started almost during that time.
Yeah, so I started January 2020, and then within 3 months was in a global pandemic, which it certainly changed the mechanism of work. And I was permanently attached to a client site, so traveling to sort of Glasgow and to the south on a regular basis. And then as the pandemic hit, it was a switch to work from home. So for me, yeah, it was a massive change in step for what I was expecting, but fully supported by CGI to do that and really enabled to do that by CGI. So anything that we needed in terms of home working was provided, and there was a recognised shift towards a home working environment for the duration of the pandemic, and now we're sort of looking towards moving back towards those co-location with clients and colleagues.
Excellent. I mean, everything that we said in IT about how your relationship between work, it all came true overnight. You've had a long career in cybersecurity, so what was it that fascinated about you and keeps you going?
So for me, I'm neurodivergent, so my brain likes to be constantly engaged, and I find that the cybersecurity, information security has an ever-evolving sort of threat and counter threat landscape. So understanding how those threats can be best countered and a constantly evolving environment really sort of keeps my brain going. So that's absolutely ideal. And it's the move and counter move element of it. It's the dealing with the emergent trends and threats as they come out. It really has kept us engaged. So there's never a boring day, and no 2 days are the same. All of that really appeals to me.
Excellent. That sounds fascinating, and I think I would agree with you, absolutely. I noticed you used to be an Army reservist.
Yeah.
Do you think that the role for exforces people?
Absolutely, yes, 100%. Exforces and current serving forces. So CGI specifically, but a lot of companies within the country and the region sign up to the Armed Forces Covenant, where we actually happen to be a gold member of the Armed Forces Covenant. We actively seek out those skills. The transferable skills between the military and cyber security mesh really, really well, along with obviously the clearances that come with it and the exposure to various environments. All of that creates a sort of perfect storm for an ideal consultant. So people leaving the forces, we get a good number of members who are leaving the forces choose to come and work with CGI because we have that gold covenant and because we actively promote that sort of element, that mindset.
And so what sort of transferable skills are we talking about? Is it the fact that the defence and attack thinking?
Yeah, so you've got the critical thinking in terms of move, counter move and all that good stuff, but you've also got a highly disciplined workforce with an understanding that hard work equals results. The team working element is highly evident within both cyber and the military elements, and also the environments that you deal with. So, you know, the military environment is a very similar environment to a lot of sort of projects and cyber projects delivering for the clients effectively.
Excellent, excellent. So we've also spoken about cadets, Army cadets, sometime in the past. And how can you get more young people interested in cybersecurity as a career?
Yeah, I mean, getting young people interested in cybersecurity is ideal. I've got 3 nephews. They're all engaged in various levels. I've got one at 16, one at 6, and one at 4. CGI during lockdown did a STEM engagement specifically designed for effectively the kids of members and you know, the wider community as well. And getting those engagements early really sort of hooks them into dealing with cyber and information security elements as well. So my 6-year-old nephew, for example, is looking at a little bit of coding, and he's got a couple of games which effectively teach you how to code. Getting that element in is great. STEM engagements are great. And also the recognition of companies and organizations that the need to develop the next generation coming through. And if we can get that interest immediately, it makes it so much easier for them to learn and develop within the cyber role.
And I suppose learning to code well and securely rather than just code. Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, the games my nephew's looking at, they engage in, and if they code well, they get certain rewards. If they code poorly, then they still get the rewards, but not at the same score or the same level. So it's quite good, actually, quite well put together. Certainly above standards of coding.
I'll let them off at the age of 6, so that's fine. But it's never too early to start. But in a few weeks' time, though, we've got Cyberfest coming up. You may have noticed the T-shirt, and back for its 4th year. And this year, we're lucky enough to have CGI's Cyber Escape as part of that. Can you tell us something about that?
Yeah, sure. So Cyber Escape is really interesting, really exciting as well. So we have a mobile platform that travels around the country, and it will arrive in Newcastle and effectively open its doors. Without giving too much away, it's exactly what you'd expect from an escape room. So you go in there, you're locked into the cyber escape room, and you have a period of time to solve problems and puzzles in order to get out. Both problems and puzzles have a cyber element to them rather than the traditional sort of pick a lock, do this, do that. But you'll recognize an awful lot of the same principles of you achieve certain things in order to get out. I'm being very careful not to give too much away here. But the important thing to get across is you don't need a background in cyber, you don't need to understand coding, or you don't need to be a certified ethical hacker. This is designed for the general public to come in and sort of challenge the way they think about cyber. So yeah, it'll be a really interesting engagement. I'm very much looking forward.
So it's going to arrive in a truck. It's a 40-foot trailer, and I understand it's going to be at Holt's Yard from the 7th to the 30th of September. So who can come along, and what's the deal?
Well, anybody, honestly. So we've had it's been very successful around the country so far. We've had school groups involved, community groups, business leaders in business, members of the military. Absolutely everybody can go along. It's geared up for people of all skills, you know, all ages, and certainly a very interesting afternoon out effectively. So aimed at everybody and very engaging.
Excellent. It sounds really exciting. And now I know CGI will want some of their customers to come on first. So how do people what do people need to do if they wish to come along? How do they get in touch?
Yeah, sure. So we will drop out some contact details to you, Phil. If they want to get in touch with you, they can get in touch through us, or they want to get in touch with me directly, more than welcome to do so. I'll be lucky enough to be one of the guys who's running with the cyber escape room in the Newcastle area. So if they want to get in touch with me directly, we can book them in. We have a booking sheet system, and we come in. Usually takes about 75 minutes start to finish. A little bit of blurb at the beginning, a little bit of blurb at the end, and roughly 60 minutes in the escape room itself. So you don't need a full afternoon for it. An hour or two would be absolutely great, and you'll have an absolutely wonderful time.
And how many people can come at any one time? Because it's a fairly small container.
It is, yes. So we've had groups of 6 up to now, and we'll find that that's quite comfortable. The relaxation of restrictions, we'll maybe look at that, but certainly groups of 6 are comfortable in there.
Okay, excellent. So my last question to you, Adam, then is, look, this has been a very challenging period. It looks like we're finally getting back to some sort of normality. I'm not quite sure yet, but an interesting time for you. What are your hopes in terms of the future?
Personal hopes in terms of the future, I'm really looking for businesses to really embrace the technological aspects that allow people to work effectively remotely or work from anywhere, and the elements around being able to stand up against something else that creeps up, like COVID, for example, because, you know, global pandemic is one of those things that hasn't happened in recent history, but it's certainly happened now and is likely to happen again. So it would be great if we can posture against that so that there's far less of a jolting effect to continue working as normal. So elements of the tech around that, elements of a culture change, and really looking at how we can engage the next generation of individuals into cyber.
Excellent, thanks. Well, thank you very much for that, Adam. I'd also like to thank my friend Robert Campbell, who helps behind the scenes, videoing all this. Look out for our next in our series, and I'll see you at both CyberFest and CyberEscape. Thank you very much, Adam.
Thanks, Phil.
That was In Conversation with Phil Jackman, lead for CyberNorth. Audio and video production was by me, Robert Campbell. This was a Team Funds production for Dynamo Northeast.